Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you had a wonderful start to your week. So, like many of you, I am patiently or impatiently waiting for the freight market to finally turn so that I can breathe. And a question that I keep getting in the comments and through emails is to make an update. Is now finally a good time to get into this industry? So let's chat about it. Ready? Let's go. To start this off, let's look at the facts. And by facts, I mean the articles that came out recently. And we're going to start by looking at the number of trucks in the market. So according to FreightWaves, since the start of November, net active truckload operating authorities have dropped by 9,000, which is approximately 12% more shutdowns than over the same period last year. So more people are leaving this industry. Now, a lot of you, when we talk about capacity and how many people are leaving, have a question. Well, how many trucks does each authority have operating under it? Well, according to FreightWaves, over 92% of the operating authorities represent carriers that have fewer than 20 trucks in their fleet. So one authority can be a single truck or 5,000 trucks, the latter being the gross minority. Point being, this data is heavily skewed towards small operators. So those authorities that we see week over week leaving the market, unfortunately, there is no way to know exactly how many trucks each one has, but the likelihood that it's less than 20 is pretty high. Now, the Wall Street Journal looks at the freight market from a different perspective, the perspective of volume. They released an article recently saying that freight activity in the US is picking up to start 2024, signaling the logistics industry may be nearing the end of a nearly 2-year-long slump. And they're basing all of this on the fact that containerized imports recorded the highest month-over-month growth for January in 7 years. However, they make it abundantly clear that this pickup in activity does not mean that there's going to be a sharp rebound that we're all hoping for. Now, Paul Bunn, president of Covenant Logistics, said, and I quote, "I think we're bouncing along the bottom and hopefully we're about to bounce off the bottom. It's going to be probably a U-shaped recovery." Now, when we talk about recovery, I know that most of you do not feel any semblance of a recovery. For crying out loud, I don't feel it either. I feel like February is much worse than January was when it comes to the rates per mile and how much loads pay. However, FreightWaves recently said that yes, the market is starting to show signs of a lasting recovery, but they are very, very careful in defining what a recovery is and what it is not. Now, I quote, "The current upturn, such as it is, implies growing distance from the market cycle low, which occurred in May of 2023. Shippers' demand was more or less stable in the back half of last year and continues to gain strength into 2024 thus far. In short, the early stages of this recovery are characterized by a rebalancing market, a return to normalcy after a 4-year roller coaster of volatility." They also go out of their way to make it very clear that recovery does not mean that, and I quote, "immediate and rapid growth in freight demand that can satisfy the excess capacity lingering in the market." I actually see a lot of people in the comments hoping that what the recovery will look like is something similar to what happened in 2020 when there was a huge unexpected uptick in volumes and rates, and that is very, very, very unlikely to happen. So again, the question, is it a good time to get into this industry right now? Well, here's the thing. CCJ said the following. Industry bankruptcy experts say financial distress at the hands of multiple factors has caused an uptick in bankruptcy cases among trucking and logistics companies of all sizes. Stephanie Lieb and Tim Swanson, a bankruptcy attorney, said that they expect that trend to continue for quite some time, and they specifically say another 12 to 18 months. Something that we have to remember is that the driving force behind this recovery, so to speak, is not the fact that there are more loads, there's more spending, there's more this. It's because people are either voluntarily leaving this industry or are forced to shut down because the conditions are just unacceptable. So is it a good time to jump into these shark-infested waters? Well, the question is, how much of an adrenaline junkie are you, and how willing are you to lose a limb or two? Now, I'm sure some of you are going to look at me like I'm crazy because I'm in this industry and I'm not leaving. Well, the reality is after 5 years, you're so tied into it that it becomes harder to just drop everything and run. Of course, this is not the only reason we're staying in this industry. In our company, we do believe that it's going to eventually get better, and the goal right now is to just survive long enough to see it get better. But as someone who has a choice of whether to start a trucking company or not start a trucking company, I would recommend waiting because, as CCJ mentioned, this market right now is pretty much a recipe for bankruptcy. So I know that this is probably something that most of you did not want to hear, most of you who wanted to get in, because I have been getting a lot of emails. Is this a good time? Is this a good time? But the reality is I can't tell you the amount of emails I get of people going out, people who went in recently into this market and went out as quickly because either they can't book enough freight to cover their expenses because their MC is newer, or the expenses were much higher than they anticipated. Or in one case, I got an email where the repair expense, an unexpected repair expense, was so high that it was enough to drive this person out of the industry. When expenses are outrageous across the trucking industry, but the income is just not there, yeah, I would say it's better to wait. Now, for those of you who are already deep in this market, just waiting for it to turn, I'm with you guys. I know that you guys see me smiling in these videos, but what you have to remember is this is just a snippet of my day where I kind of pull myself together, right? In reality, yesterday, for example, I had a full-blown panic attack in the morning, which is why I could not make a video yesterday. It rendered me completely useless for half of the day. This is the reality of the industry right now. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you have a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep learning. I'll see you in the next video.